How good's that? So if you're fishing, yes. If you're dancing, no problems. And if you want to sit down, can do. And this is your afternoon sunset appreciation spot. Charging, but have you noticed that the gyro is not working off the Jenny? So do you remember, like, probably 10 years ago when most like day boaters were running around in 50, 60, 70 foot sport yachts? And I say day boaters because I don't even know whether they knew that they were day boaters, but they had these beautiful big sports yachts. They go out with 5, 10, 15, 20 of their mates, and they're just having epic days on the water. That was all the rage for a while, and still is in many places. But times are changing, and I can see the change, and I'm on one such example, which is facilitating that change. My name's Dan Jones. Welcome to Dan's Boat Life, and today I am on the Regal 38 SAV, sports activity vessel. Kind of feels like SUV to me because this is a bit of an SUV of fun on the sea. And what do I mean by that? We're in 38 foot of boat that can accommodate 10, 15 people or more really comfortably for epic days out, and it's all about activities and enjoyment, and it's all about simplicity of you, the owner-operator. So more boating, less mucking about, and giving you options to go and enjoy yourself. So there is a test drive video of this boat already. We've just filmed it. It surprised me, actually. I was positively surprised. This thing really goes. It's a lot of fun. So if you're interested in that, follow the link that's coming up on the screen or head to the video description. And don't forget to subscribe. We hit 3,000 subscribers this week, so that's awesome. I wonder if we can get to 4. So thanks for watching. This is the walkthrough video. We're going to start right now because it looks like we might be getting some rain clouds coming. So I'm going to start talking to you about the back of the boat, and then we'll kind of break it up into sections and show you as much as we can. Hopefully you can see what's going on at the back of the boat here. Firstly, it's a completely new hull design. This is not a rebadged other model with outboards on the back. It's a completely new hull design by Regal, and it is a deep V hull with triple 300 Yamaha V6s on the back. So it's all the mod techs. As I said, if you're interested in a test drive video, that's there and can be viewed. But out on the transom here, we've got a decent amount of space. The transom platform comes out to about yay far off the back of the motor. So if you were like reversing into a dock and your only option was to get off on the back, it would be possible. Clearly the side is going to be easy, and we have many more options on the side. First thing, which I'm a real fan of now, since I've discovered it not so long ago, it's this soft flexi-teak decking. It's all the rage these days, and I love it because it's soft underfoot, gives you really good grip, and it retains like temperature quite well. Like there's no great variation of temperature when you're walking on this stuff, so you're quite comfortable, and you can be barefoot even on the colder days, which I like. So yeah, the transom plenty wide, enough space, and enough space out here if you wanted to hang with your mates and enjoy scenes like this. But we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 rod holders, so this is absolutely a boat you could fish from, but it's not fishing focus is what I'm trying to say. We've got a couple of speakers out the back here, so if you're in the water having a party, you can pump the tunes out this way. Got some stainless steel grates on the back, which is to do with the blowers, because the Jenny is downstairs. Now there is an equipment room which we're going to open up probably towards the end of the video actually. There is a lot of cool gear in there, but what they've also designed is some storage for those floaty mat thingamajiggies that everybody floats on these days. So you can literally pop the back up, deploy the mat, chuck your mates some beers and pump the tunes. So that's awesome. So as I enter, you can enter both on port and starboard, equally sized entrances, and you've got the kiddie dog door on each side. But on the starboard side, we have a hot and cold shower. And yes, outboard powered boat, but this one does have a hot water cylinder downstairs. It looks like about a 25 litre capacity, so hot showers are possible. You've got the pop-up lights just here. There's one of those on either side, and we have a drink holder. There's going to be a lot of drink holders as we walk around this boat. A drink holder on either side of the rear seat, I should say. Now, as you enter the boat, you actually have another drink holder, which is a multi-purpose drink holder. That is also a rod holder. And then this stainless steel thingamabob here actually takes a carbon pole for the aft sunshade. So you can set that up when you're at rest and protect this whole area in shade. Now, you can't walk past this without noticing the side doors. Now, there's one on port and starboard, and they are chunky, really, really well made. And you just press this in. Look at that lock. Love that sort of stuff. So there you go. So you could leave that open, trick your buddies when they're walking from the bar and push them into the water, or use it however you see fit. Now, on starboard here, we've got kill box, but it's also really good for fender and rope storage. So fender and rope storage, really convenient place just there. And if you're into your fishing mode, it's suitable for that as well. The aft lounge, they just do a good job, Regal. Comfortable, high quality leather, ergonomic, lots of back support here and soft on your bottom. You could put 1, 2, 3 big blokes, 4 chicks, no worries, and electrically operates. How cool's that? I'm sorry, but that's rockstar. Speaker, subwoofer, speaker, just there. So you can go from social mode to fishing mode or dance party in that amount of time. Like, how good's that? So if you're fishing, yes. If you're dancing, no problems. And if you want to sit down, can do. Fusion stereo speaker control just there. Courtesy light. Courtesy light. I saw some other courtesy lights on the transom as well as you enter. And 1, 2, 3 courtesy lights just on this seat just here. So I imagine at night time, this boat is going to have a really, really good vibe about it. So now, Ronnie, you go there and then look back at me here so I can try and let everyone appreciate what we're looking at here. Turn your phone off. That's all right. Now, one little thing I didn't point out. This is like a Korean finish. I saw this. This is not my first Regal. I've sold plenty of Regals over the years on my brokerage, and I have actually tested some of the newer ones, and I'm just continually impressed by the finer details. These blokes, they build a good boat, and then all the little bits that you don't normally notice on boats, they still put attention into all that little finer detail. So good to see, and that's lovely. But we've got this social seat here, which is in shade, but going to be sort of in the rain if it was raining. But you've got, because this T-top finishes there. So this is ginormous, and this is your afternoon sunset appreciation spot, because you've got a little bit of wind protection just here. You've got a wonderful view looking out over the motors just there, and you can be conversing with your mates should you choose. There's clearly an optional table or a removable table to go into that spot just there, so this could be an alfresco dining area. But going into the finer details that Regal always do, gas struts, happy days, convenient storage. Your mates and their bags can just throw in there if you need. Not a bad spot for safety grab bags too. Kind of sensible, and we're not struggling for drink holders once again. So this is a multi-function area, a sensibly laid out area, but I'm not finished. So once we get up here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 more rocket launchers. We've got 1, 2 more Fusion speakers. This stereo is going to absolutely pump. I got 2 LED downlights, which is going to illuminate this area. So if you were, preparing some bait or what have you, it's going to be good for that. I've got my nav light, horns, GPS, all your other equipment up on the T-top, and there's even a drop-down TV. So we'll get to that. Let's go and focus on this area. So Ronnie, come forward a little bit, and I wonder if you can just go over there and shoot back on this. I was going to say mini bar, but it's not mini. This is a maxi bar. So same. Can you see all that? This is the same Korean vibe that I just saw on the back of the boat. That same material. It's really lovely. So this is bigger than my kitchen. I live in an apartment, but like this is a huge, big kitchen table, and this is the focus or the center of the boat, really. Before I get onto it, the T-top on this boat is ginormous. It's one of the biggest T-tops I've ever seen on a boat of this size, and I see what they're trying to achieve with this boat. This design says to me, we are not trying to be a fishing boat. We're not trying to be one specific niche, which you see on a lot of other boats. We are trying to be, or we are, an epic day boat. So people are going to want to be out of the sun if you're entertaining, if you're spending long days with large amounts of people. This is ideal for Australia. And for many places, and we're going to get to it in a second. That windscreen gives you a lot of protection from the wind. This is a really good place to appreciate the views and just actually soak up what boating is all supposed to be about. So that's cool. It's a lot of boats in this category just have really, really tiny T-tops, and having something like this, which is still capable of performing exceptionally well. There's going to be a lot of weight in this, so however they've designed this, they've managed to keep the centre of gravity quite low, and therefore the performance pretty good. So anyway, going to the detail, we have a bin, so a removable, decent size bin here. You're not struggling for tinnies in that one, or empty ones I should say. We have a fridge that'll do stand-up wine bottles, and it's got a little shelf in it as well. You got a plug here, and then that's a safety switch for the 240, and then this thing here is for operating the barbie. So that's the barbie just there, and then a couple of drink holders, a little bit of prep area in the middle, which is not going to interfere your other bits and pieces, because this is the sink just here. So I don't know if that's just cold water or hot as well, because as I mentioned, we do have hot water on this boat. In the middle, so we've got one fridge on the starboard side. We've got, let's start at the bottom, deep drawer with storage, shallower drawer just there. And then, coming to the port side, same fridge with that shelf thingamajiggy, and you could stand up bottles in there, no worries. And this is not fiberglass, this is like a nice Korean type finish all here, which is just really lifts the boat. It's a different texture to the bench top slightly. The bench top's a little bit more marbly, fancy vibe. So okay, so that's a bait live tank for fishing. You know what? Nah. Yes, of course it's for fishing, but I think this is for stand-up magnums full of ice when you're having your party day, and you can put it on your shoulder and serve the girls. So, multifunction right there. Downlight, good to see, because if you're preparing your platter just here of an evening, you want to see what you're doing. So this area can have some light, and also if you're working on the barbie, that's important. A lot of boats forget that downlight thing. Now in here, got a drop-down TV. Don't know which way it faces, but we'll find out, I suppose. So actually before I get there was a bank of switches on this side: patio lights, bilge lights, underwater lights, fish box, hatch lift, and hatch down. So that's that hatch, which we'll get to. And then there's another bank of switches on that side. But there's just so much. stay there, Ronnie, because I'm going to focus on a couple more things here. On the starboard side here, we've got storage for boat hooks, probably rods if you like. You've even got a built-in freshwater washdown, so that's great. Freshwater washdown, and I saw a raw water washdown on port on the same side. Then the gunnels have got this padded setup just here, and funnily enough, more rod holders. I passed at about a couple of metres from the transom a drop-down cleat, and then there's another drop-down cleat just near the helm. So from an operational perspective, the skipper can use those ones quite easily. Now, I'm going to get to the helm in a second, but I'm not finished because we've got a bloody great big esky just under here. I think that's just sitting there. So that's like a Queensland-style esky underneath the helm chair, which is a great place to put it, but you could remove that if you wanted to use it for other storage options as well. And I see another, how many subwoofers are on this boat? Another subwoofer just here. Okay. Deep storage. This is a good place for flares and safety gear, really, close to the helm. And a box of flares is going to fit in there quite easily, and even an EPIRB might go well there. What's on this side? So this is that the same width as that one? Yeah, I think that's the same. So I reckon, plenty of options, but I reckon that's a good place for safety gear. Now, I want to show you guys this seat that spins around. So just go back a bit, Ronnie, and let me try and show everyone this. Because, where is it? Here it is. Check that out. Happy days. So, I think this is great. So, this seat and that seat, so this one is the skipper's chair, and this is the navigator. But being able to sit backwards like this, if you've got a large party on board for a run, just say you've got 20 minutes to run to your destination, that's actually quite fun. You can still talk to your mates here because they're just there, and you can converse with everyone else. Or if you're lucky enough to be, young blokes, and this is Dad's boat, and you're biscuiting or wakeboarding behind this thing, what a great observer's seat. So that's cool. So that'll spin around. It's got the armrests. These things are solid as, and also the flip-up bolster is quite easy to use. Some boat seats, they're not so easy single-handed like that. And then you just have this little lever here, spins it around. I'm not finished. See this lever here? I think you pull or push it. I'll try the other one. It's a brand new boat. It's not commissioned yet, so everything's still a little bit... Oh, there we go. Easy. So, put the bolster down. That's my fault. So you pull that little thingamajiggy and bolster down, pull the thingamajiggy. See this? Matching Corian, matching out the back. Place for your drinks. Possibly even sit on it, or when you're in social mode, you could drop all the seats down, because from a communication perspective, like if you've got people in the bow and you've got people in the stern or someone cooking here, everybody, your line of sight is going to be perfect. So from a communication and just a fun factor, that's really good. So I like that. Okay, so I think you've got to pull that to pop that back up again. So let's have a look at the helm. Now, Ronnie, you go forward and try and get this whole helm area in shot, because this is cool. I discovered this on the test drive. These helm chairs go forward and back electrically. So plenty of space for the big blokes, and it goes forward enough for the short blokes like me that you can still put your feet on the footrest. So that's awesome. We do go into all this on the test drive, but you've got storage for knickknacks just up here, so you can just throw things, get out of the way. The matte grey means it's going to knock down any direct sunlight, so you won't have glare in your face. This is gorgeous, this dash. So we've got timber highlights here. I like having a little bit of timber, but not too much from a maintenance perspective. And then we've got flush, Garmin flush mounted, Fusion flush mounted, switches for all your important things, cockpit lights, navigation, horn, windlass, bilge, lights, wipers, freshwater, bilge blower, and the AC. Drink holders, phone charging, phone storage, bow thruster, trim tabs, another little place to hide keys and things with some charging, joystick, throttles, engine operation. You can individually start the motors, or you can press a button, it'll start all three. High water alarm, fire alarm, and autopilot. That's handy. You know, if you're doing Pittwater to Sydney and just want to enjoy the ride, super handy. And your Garmin VHF just there. So really well laid out. It's got a little bit, I feel like with these air conditioning outlets, got a little bit of Mercedes-Benz vibes. But once again, carrying this Corian finish that we saw at the back and the centre up to the dash. Like, nice. Like that. Not finished. So if I'm tall enough, yes I am, the sunroof is just push and open like that. So you can get some airflow through here. You got the air conditioning, you got the natural air, and you can also pop that through. And I can see it's got some UV protection on it as well. And you could feel that because we're up here in Queensland, and you would notice. I'm not going to go downstairs yet because I want to go forward. Now, it's worth noting, actually, Ronnie, you go over here and then step back a bit, and I'll just point out this starboard side because there is a difference that everyone's going to want to see and understand. To allow for the loo downstairs and the accommodation, they've raised the decks, and you go forward on starboard by grabbing this, boom, boom, boom. And what they've cleverly done, the roof design goes in a little bit so you don't bang your head. See that? So that it's wide here, and then it goes in, and my head is not banging. So that's cleverly designed, and the handhold's in the right position. The cleat's good here, accessible for the skipper, and then you can walk forward, but you're unlikely to go forward that way because the best way to go forward is over here. So come over to the port side. The TV drop down and some other switches are just near, just on that side, but I didn't point that out before. So come forward. Now, I want you to see, can you see this windscreen here? Can you see that? It's a 3-piece windscreen. We've got 1, 2, 3. So the forward glass is all one piece, and then you've got 2 corner pieces. Really good wind protection. So the 2 center people, the driver and navigator, are total protection, and the outside seats moderately protected from the wind. But you do feel, I feel you'd drive this boat on a cold day and you'd still enjoy yourself because it's giving you really good protection because there's no gaps in between the T-top and the glass. It's complete protection. So you walk through and you get up here into the bow. This is a whole nother area in itself. To give you an example, there is 10 drink holders in the bow. 10. So it's in sun lounge mode right now. These cushions here and here will remove, but the way they've been secured, see how I'm kicking them? They're not going to fly off. So you can do 46 knots on this boat, but quite sensibly, a smart person has designed it in such a way that the bars that support these cushions go underneath these seats. So it's not going to fly off. So you can throw things underneath like we have, the sunshade, and it's not going anywhere. So that's great. You can use it in open mode and you'll have a nice U-shaped wrap around, or you can use it in this mode. How good would this be? But while I'm here, let's just show you. Once again, Regal, sensibly done. Gas struts, storage, more safety gear would be sensible up here. That's a good place to put life jackets. You could also use this area here, more storage. So you can, if you are, that way inclined, you want to roll up all the sunshades, they could go quite easily in there. You've got a phone charging set up just there. We have the pop-up lights, and we've got drop-down armrests on either side. So facing forward, you can sit on this seat facing forward whilst the boat is driving underway because you're not going to hinder the driver's visibility, and the bow doesn't raise so much that it's difficult for the driver at all. So this will be a great place to run at speed. Just hold on to your hats. Speaker just there, and water in just here. We have, these are the little stainless thingamybobs for the sunshade for the bow. And another thing, it's just everything's so well finished. You know, every cupboard that you open, you get pleasantly surprised. There's a courtesy light in here. Who does that? Well done, Regal. So you've got the battery switch for the anchor windlass and the bow operation. There is a remote control for this, so you can operate it from wherever you like. But what a sensible design thought process. Let's just put the battery switch right next to the item that it needs to be operated for. So there's a safety clip just there. There's a cleat, battery switch, and the light, and then the whole anchor well is beautifully flow coated and finished off super nicely. So that's good. Now, have I missed anything through here? I think that's all fixed just there. Yep. I think it's time we go downstairs and have a look at the accommodation. Okay, so going downstairs, this footrest is actually a sliding door, and you've got a fixed window just here, but you just press on that. You go through, or you cross a stainless steel grate, so that's going to catch any water on deck if there is any, and you come down a 2-step timber ladder with a stainless steel support and into quite generous accommodation, actually. Yeah, this is quite generous. So I can stand up easily, and I've got a few inches above my head, so tallish people can walk around this whole area with ease. And you got, can't touch the ends just there. You've got quite a bit of space. I'm seeing this Korean theme being carried through once again, so that's a nice little touch, and same again as I make my way through. But first, this is like the guest, or maybe you'd use this as a primary accommodation, but I don't think you would actually, because we've got a little bit more to see in a second. This is be like the kiddies' bed just here, and you can see the contours of the hull, and they've just got a nice textured finish on both sides. But you've got a little bedside table just there, some storage for bits and pieces, a 240 and 12 volt charging, and a gas sniffer for safety just there. One thing, I've got it halfway up already, which is worth checking out, is this. How good is this? So I think this goes back to the why would you have a big sports yacht with plenty of cabins that you never use? So we've got a bed, which you're probably rarely going to use. So they've been smart with it, and now it's a lounge. And this is a nice little place to come out, chill out. You got your microwave, you got a drawer for a few bits and pieces, some deep storage, and some also little shelves just there, which are good for boat manuals, bits and pieces. Your 12 volt and 240 panels are just here. And then you've got your Seakeeper, air conditioning, lights, air conditioning outlet, air conditioning control, I should say, and even a couple of hanging hooks for some towels. So I reckon, Ronnie, you come down and then shoot back this way, and I suspect this could be your primary accommodation down here. It's going to be a little bit, it's not definitely not stand-up room, so this is a crouch space. But it's full beam, so you've got a window on either side. They're just slitted windows, so you've got no privacy concerns if it's nighttime. But you've got quite a large bed here, which has a cool secret. So come in a little bit closer. Hopefully you guys can see what I'm seeing. This is actually a lounge, so it's on a bit of an angle. You've got an armrest on that side. Cool place just to chill out like this. Kids would love this zone. This is a great place to play games and just get away from mum and dad. So that's an option for this area. I've got an air conditioning outlet there. I've got 240 and 12 volt charging and another air conditioning outlet here and a ledge for all the kids' games. If you can hear that whirring sound, that is actually the gyro, and we're going to discover that in the equipment room. But one of the cool things about this area, which is why I think it could be the primary accommodation, is that just pops up on short gas struts, and then out comes the cushions, which go straight into here, and then that turns this into a ginormous bed. Good job, Regal. Like, sensible, you're not mucking around, you're not trying to find them in some place that you forgot where they were. You can put decent sized bags in there, so duffel bags and sailing bags, that sort of stuff will go really well, or bedding. and cushions. This is a sensible place for bedding and cushions as well. And up on this shelf just here, we've got some strip lighting. That's not really storage that I can see, but just a little bit of, you know, textured finish, soft furnishings. So you're not actually going to hurt yourself if you bumped your head on this, because there's a little bit of foam behind it. And then one final thing I've noticed, more Corian underneath the stairs here. We've got a Corian lid, but it's not an esky. It's like another little storage area, which would be good for handbags and bits and pieces. And then you've just got access to the sump pumps below. So we're not finished. There is a loo. So Ronnie, why don't you go in that corner, and then I'm just going to open this door. So it's a nice timber door, textured finish. Go to the timber. You come into the loo, same flooring initially as you enter, on the same level, and big head area, enough space on the toilet, storage for toilet paper, your loo roll holder just here, more charging for shavers and hair dryers, and you could actually store those things down here as well. More power, just a lot of power on this boat. Toilet flush operation, nice porcelain sink here, Corian theme again, so that's cool. Oh, there's a little hand towel rack just there, and sensible storage. So this is a really good head situation. And the other thing worth noting, because a lot of them forget to do this, air conditioning outlet just here and here, so you can keep the place smelling nice and fresh. Another towel rack here, 2 down lights, and my favourite feature, a proper stand-up separate shower. So we've got a rain head thingamybop just here, and actually it's just the rain head that I can see. Yeah, rain head, and then proper, how does that operate? Oh, it's on a track. Okay, so that's a fixed shower screen that locks in place, and it follows this track here, so it's never going to fall out of place. This is hard perspex. But look at this timber finish. This looks like real teak, all of this. So you can do a sit-down shower if the boat's rocking around. You've got the same teak just finished in the floor, just there to catch your water. Another light, and this little area here is going to be perfect for all your shampoos and conditioners and that sort of thing. So that's cool. Come up on deck, and we need to have a look at the equipment room. So here we are in the equipment room. So that whirring noise that you could hear before, that's the gyro next to the Jenny. And then you got the hot water tank, crank batteries, house battery, crank. So 2 house, 3 crank, hot water cylinder, Jenny for charging. But have you noticed that the gyro is not working off the Jenny? So that's off the batteries, which is pretty cool. So the other thing worth noting is all this extra space in here. This is perfect for those foam mat thingies, the yellow things that everybody floats around on. One of them rolled up will go perfectly in here, and being with this hatch opening towards the back of the boat, you can deploy it straight into the sea. The other thing worth pointing out, see this is all the covers and clears. So if you're in some cold place and you feel the need to use those, it's a good place to store them. They're in their own bag and they lay flat. So yeah, this is sensible design, and it's evident that this is a new design designed specifically for this boat, because things like this hatch opening backwards to face the sea is not something you would have seen on many previous or earlier design boats, because they would have originally focused this area as, for inboard motors, which is not the case anymore. So yeah, very cool. So I think that's a wrap. That's the Regal 38 SAV, guys. This thing is fit for purpose. This boat is really, really cool, super functional. And if you've got epic day boating in mind, with maybe a bit of fishing, with maybe a bit of floating around the water, with maybe a bit of paddleboarding, maybe a bit of partying, it'll do all of the above and more. I think there's going to be a lot of people that were considering bigger boats with more accommodation that are going to see this boat and realise you know what? For our lifestyle, this Regal makes a lot more sense. And for an operational perspective, it's just easier. And when it's easier, you go more. And why do we do this? To enjoy ourselves. So Regal, once again, well done. Nice product. I'm impressed. My name's Dan Jones. This has been Dan's Boat Life. See you on the next one.